right now.
Is it like a presidential transition, or when one party is leaving the White House and a new party is entering, everyone's jobs change?
Um, it, it will be up to the new pope to like reinstate everybody, or reinstate them on a interim basis, however it goes. But it's more. I mean, it's more like the succession of a monarch, like the in terms of the pope occupies the chair of Peter, and now the Catholic Church has entered a period called sede vacante. The chair is literally the chair is empty, and it's up to the College of Cardinals, these men who are elevated by Pope Francis himself, and his predecessors, who have, at the age of 80, the right to participate as an elector in the conclave, and that uh, is very much not like a presidential election in that 2/3 plus one of that electoral body, which I think comes to like 91 votes, will determine the next leader of this religious tradition, as you noted, of well north of a billion practitioners.
Let's get into some of those numbers and also continuing the timeline. So the funeral is slated to be Saturday. How many days after the funeral will the College of Cardinals first meet?
They'll meet pretty shortly thereafter. I don't remember what the turnaround was 20 years ago with the death of John Paul II, but once the sede vacante begins, it's pretty much getting down to business. They'll have probably the better part of a week of what they call general congregations, which I mentioned the open mic session earlier. It's a time where they get together and have candid discussions about challenges facing the church, challenges facing the world, um, what kind of leader it would take to approach that, and little by little, they kind of start to crystallize a vision of the profile that they need. It's not uh, nobody is openly a candidate. It's kind of like everybody's a candidate, but no one is. To be openly campaigning for the job would be um, you know, tasteless and ambitious, and probably a sign of very bad judgment given the responsibilities that await whoever they choose. And um, so it's yeah, a period of heavy discernment of just so that these things, so that they have some kind of focus when they finally process into the Sistine Chapel for the actual uh, election.
Now, you mentioned the age of those who vote. So there are, if my facts are correct, 252 cardinals, but not all of them have met the rules to vote. Why is there that age cutoff? Do we know?
Um, it was actually only in the last 50 or so years that Pope Paul VI, who died in 1978, put some. I think he was looking to foster turnover and kind of fresh blood in the upper echelon of the hierarchy. You could argue that one way or the other, but bishops are required to submit a letter of resignation to the Pope at the age of 75, and cardinals lose their voting rights at the age of 80. So there was a kind of an arbitrary cap of there should be 120 electors. We're currently at 135, but you know it it is what it is. And but yes, they are the cardinals who have the right to elect.
And when we talk about these cardinals, how many were appointed by Pope Francis himself versus his predecessors?
Well north of three-quarters of the electors were appointed by Francis. The number of John Paul electors has dwindled down into single digits, I believe, and then Benedict has maybe 30 or so of his appointees left. So it's a system where the former guy has shaped the body that will succeed him. Now, um, there's a lot of conversation about what are you pleased with the direction kind of conversation, and a lot of prayer invoking the Holy Spirit, and the Cardinals. It's kind of them and God in there. Like they have a track record of doing surprising, perhaps counterintuitive things. I would say up to and including the election of Pope Francis.